is where children belong. Welcome this part of our worshiping throng. Water, God's word, bread and cup, prayer and song. This is where children belong. Wow, we got energy this morning. I am in for it today. I'm in for it. There's candy. Oh, yes. Oh, this was not well planned, clearly. I forgot about trick-or-treating. Thank you, Julie, for handing out all that candy last night. Thank you for making this happen. Okay, so this week there was some crazy weather. Who here lost power?
Me.
Did everybody? You? Avery and Braden?
No.
Miles, did you guys lose power?
We did for 2 days.
You lost. That is just as bad. Bradley, you didn't either? I guess we should have been at Bradley's house and Miles' house and Alice's house. Did you guys go trick-or-treating last night then to make up for it? Yeah. Did you? Some of you did, some of you no. Did you at least get to go trick-or-treating a little bit sometime this week? Yeah. Did anybody play in the snow? Yes.
I made a snowman.
You did? You did too? You did at school.
Me and my teacher, we made a big one and then a baby.
Nice. Will anyone here admit to being a little bit scared on that day when things were...
I was scared. I was outside around the bike.
You will admit to being a little scared?
I prayed.
Oh my God. My word. Well, here's what happened at Reed and Graham, we go over here, we go to North Muskegon, right? And so we park here at the church, and so we had to walk. And just as we were leaving school, we had a little kindergarten boy that was with us, didn't we? And as we were leaving school, the branches started crackling, and the branches started falling, and the power lines were coming down and sparking around us. And there were grown-ups that were yelling at kids. Because, and not yelling mean, but just yelling at kids to don't walk under that branch. And, they were being very serious. The grown-ups were being very serious after school. And that little kindergarten boy started crying because I think he sensed that it was a serious situation, that, it was dangerous. The branches were breaking and power lines were coming down. And he started crying because I think he felt a little out of control. And maybe he felt like, there was he didn't know what was going to happen. And that can happen in not just storms, but all the time in our lives. We don't always know what's going to happen next, and sometimes we feel out of control. And so sometimes we start crying, don't we, because we get a little nervous. And today, after we leave, the grown-ups are going to read a scripture. It's in Psalm 34, and one of the verses says this, the poor soul cried and was heard by God. And there are so many scriptures in the Bible that talk about when we cry, God cannot ignore our cries. God cannot ignore us when we're crying. He hears every one of our tears, or sees every one of our tears, hears every one of our cries. Because God knows that life is tricky, and sometimes things get yucky. And today is All Saints Sunday. We do it once a year, and we recognize all the people that we have lost in our lives, people that have died. And we recognize them, we light a candle, and we talk about the people that we have lost. And when we do that, we remember our pain, because when someone dies, it breaks our heart. Sometimes it literally feels like our heart is breaking. Has anyone, grown-ups, have you ever felt like when someone has died, it literally feels like your heart has broken? And death, oh my goodness, death is such a mystery. And it's hard to even wrap our heads. Grown-ups, and when we know it's hard for kids to wrap their heads around death, grown-ups, is it hard for you to wrap your head around death? It is hard to understand. But we can trust that no matter how confusing it is, no matter how much our hearts actually break when someone we love passes away, we know that God sees and hears every one of those tears, and you are not alone, and you are being comforted by God. So we're going to go upstairs. We're going to talk a little bit more about that and work on our Christmas program. The joy, I can see it. Are you guys ready? Let's go.